Well, your San Francisco Giants are back. They're soaking up the cool Bay Air. They're enjoying some home cooking as tonight they begin a 3-game series against the Cincinnati Reds. Welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Amy Gutierrez. And yeah, that was a rough road trip. We can't sugarcoat 1-7. It's kind of hard to put a positive spin, but when it comes to this team, there's always something good to talk about. So I'm going to give you 2 words. Mac Williamson. Man, did he break out on that road trip, and it's worth taking a look back. It's our greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Here is July 16th. He goes yards against the Pods off Carlos Villanueva, and then he gets on a plane, heads east to Boston. That one, a 3-run shot off Drew Pomerantz. He was not done, folks. Saturday against the Yankees, another solo shot off Ivan Nova. So total on the road trip, 3 home runs. Mac batted .444, 8 for 18 with 7 RBI. Here's the cherry on top. His entire family finally got to see him play baseball at this level. They've been to several games, but Mac just didn't happen to get in when they were here. Did he wow them or what? Very special moment for the Williamson family. We're all very happy for Mac. All right, well, it's game 1 against the Cincinnati Reds and your San Francisco Giants, who are finally back home after a long road trip. You got Kruk, Kite, lineups, first pitch, and Jake Peavy on the mound. Stay with us.
Baseball. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. We are so glad to be back home at 61 degrees. Winds at 13 miles per hour. Humidity at 63%. And it is cool, and it is breezy, and it is beautiful. 1-7 is in the past.
It's in the past.
All right, let's take a look at the Reds lineup as we wait for Jake Peavy to lead this team on the field. As we're also waiting on the grounds crew, which we'll take a look at that in a minute. Hamilton, Cozart, and Joey Votto, who's red hot, followed by Bruce, Duvall, and Brendan Phillips. Suarez will hit in the 7th slot. Then it's Barnhart and Anthony DeSclafani.
Well, a little problem with the foul line down the right field line. Apparently it was not plumb to the middle of the foul pole. So umpires came out and said, yo, fix it.
You think that was Joe West?
I bet it was. Joe West is the crew chief here with this crew.
I mean, they don't call him Old Hawkeye for nothing.
He'll be at first base tonight. But we are seeing some scrambling here. There are the umpires. This is Joe West. Well, he was at the bottom of your screen. Here it is Jake Peavy, who is the starting pitcher tonight for the Giants. Peavy, 6'1", 180-pound, 35-year-old. And Peavy, a 14-year veteran in his 15th year now. 20 at the start of the season. He's 5-8 with a 5.15 ERA. It doesn't really tell you how he's throwing right now. He's throwing very well. You see a 90-ish fastball, high 80s, low 90-ish with lots of sink. He will cut it. Curveball slider combination, which has been very good. He'll also throw a circle change at you. Lifetime against the Reds, he's been fantastic. 7-1 in 13 starts with an ERA lifetime of 2.92. That's over 89 innings against the Reds.
Giants coming off that road trip that we just talked about, where they went 1-7. The only game they won was the game on Saturday night, and that was a tough game. Held on to beat the Yankees. Overall, I think the bottom line to the trip was, you don't play well, you're going to get beat. And every part of the game, they just didn't play well.
They could have been better, and they could have been better defensively, and that has not happened often for this Giants team. Let's take a look at the defense tonight. Playing behind Jake Peavy, starting in the Giants outfield, it will be Pagan, Span, and Parker. Parker with the best arm in right field. Crawford, Gillespie on the left side. Pena and Belt on the right side. Buster Posey, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs. It's time now for our Nissan keys of the game. And number one, you've got to elevate the DeSclafani sink. DeSclafani has been red hot. He comes into this game with a 5.5-0 record, a 2.5-0. And how's he do it? With sinkers. Make them elevate. Number two, get the 3, 4, 5 guys hot. Belt, Posey, Crawford, they need to light it up, especially Brandon Belt, who is in a big-time funk. Those are our Nissan keys to the game.
Here's the first pitch of the ball game. And Hamilton lifts it out to the left, and it'll be Angel Pagan who puts it away. One pitch, one out. As we get started at 7:16. So one pitch went out, and here's Kozar. You usually see the leadoff hitter open up a game by swinging at the first pitch, but Hamilton thought he liked it, took a whack at it. Here's Kozar, who takes a strike.
The Reds have been hot. They've won their last 3 series. And one of the things that Brian Price did was flip Zach Kozar, who had been leading off, with Billy Hamilton. Kozar dropped down the 2 spot, and Hamilton became the leadoff hitter, and they have been playing good baseball.
Kozart at 265. See, the home run numbers are pretty good from just about everybody in this lineup, and has certainly a lot to do with the size of the ballpark and how well it carries in Cincinnati. Got him. Here's our Colart Facts, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Most games started together. And we're talking about Votto and Phillips. There's 1,054. On top is Bagwell and Biggio. This is first baseman and second baseman. Howard and Utley, Grace and Sandberg. So that's been a pretty good duo for quite a while. As Votto, the red hot Votto, steps in.
Boy, red hot indeed since the All-Star break. 15 for 29 with 3 home runs and 8 RBIs, hitting .517. That's hot.
He's always had a great eye. Giants do not put the overshift on, but they are playing Votto to pull. And the 2-0 and a strike. That's Mark Rippiger behind the dish. Joe West, Kerwin Danley, Andy Fletcher. Rippiger. There's a strike, 2-2.
Well, Rippiger's strike zone is a low strike zone. He doesn't have big corners, but I think he's a really good breaking ball umpire. He really hangs in on the breaking balls very well. Rippiger.
And he got him, and that'll end the inning. Span to lead things off. And here's Bruce Bochy's lineup. It'll be Span, Pagan, and Parker. Parker hitting third. Then it's Posey, Crawford, Brendan Belt dropped down to sixth. And you can see he does have a 9-game hitting streak against the Reds. Gillespie, Pena, and Peavy ninth.
On the hill tonight for the Reds will be Anthony DeSclafani. And look what he has done in 8 starts since coming off the DL. He has been fantastic. 5-0 with a 2.50 ERA, 40 strikeouts against 9 walks. And the way that he does it is with a really good sinking fastball. It'll go low to mid 90s with the velocity. He's got a good hard cutter, a curveball, and a changeup. And he's throwing with a lot of confidence right now. 25 years old in his second year at the big league level.
And the pitch to Span. Span hitting .251. 4 home runs, 31 driven in for Denard Span.
That's the low strike that all sinker ballers want. DeSclafani had an oblique injury. It really kept him on the shelf for a long time. Hurt it in spring training.
On deck is Pagan.
DeSclafani 0-1 lifetime in 1 start against the Giants. Did not fare well in that particular outing.
On the ground and a base hit. And maybe 2 for Span. And it will be 2. He makes it.
Well, not for lack of effort from Adam Duvall out in left field. That was a nice play. And Span needed every bit of his speed to get it. We're going to make that our forward right choice.
I thought he was going to make it standing up.
Well, 2-seam sink right in the outside corner. That's not a hanger. They play off the bag in on the grass. It really limited the range for Suarez, the third baseman. And there's the bare hand attempt. Duvall's got a great arm. But what a nice start for Span and the Giants here. And that's a forward right choice.
Boy, that was close.
That was way close. Reds looked at it too.
Here's Pagan hitting .292. And Pagan shows bunt, and he takes a strike. Giants did have some guys that struggled on the road. This is not one of them. Pagan hit .324 on the road. He was 11 for 34.
Mac Williamson, a day off today after a really nice road trip.
Out of play. It's now 0-2. All right, there we go.
Thank you. I am the man. Fans here, the best.
Very polite. Span with his lead. Target is in. Got him.
Well, let's take a look at the Reds defensively behind DeSclafani tonight. Starting in the outfield from left to right. It'll be Duvall, Hamilton, and Bruce. You got good arms across the board. You already saw Duvall with his first attempt. Cozart, Suarez on the left side. Phillips, Votto on the right side. Tucker Barnhart, he'll be in the squad putting down the signs.
Here's Parker.
Sinker ball pitcher, low ball hitter. This is a good matchup for Parker.
Parker takes low. Parker on the trip went 2 for 8. He's got 5 home runs this year. He's got 11 runs batted in. And it's 2-0. On deck is Buster Posey. Giants with the 1-7 road trip come back with a record of 58-40. Dodgers are not playing tonight. It's an off night for them. They will take on Tampa Bay at home tomorrow. And a strike call to Jared Parker.
A little cutter in the 2-0 count.
Now timeout is called, and Scafani was taking a lot of time with Span jockeying back and forth at second, so Parker just finally asked for time.
Well, he asked for time, but he did not leave his position in the batter's box, which is smart.
Parker, little pop-up. Here's our Geico quote from Bruce Bochy on the lack of productivity from the heart of the lineup on the road trip. That really hurt us the whole trip. We'll go as they go.
Well, that's the number in the heart of the order. Belt 2 for 33. Not one RBI from Belt, not one RBI from Crawford. A lot of strikeouts.
Buster Posey takes wide. 287, 12 home runs, 46 runs batted in. He's 0 for 2 lifetime against DeSclafani.
We mentioned good arms across the board in the outfield for the Reds, but Span has good speed. He's going to get a 2-out jump.
And that's foul back. See, runners in scoring position. That's the Giants as a team. Last in the month of July, it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Look out, as that pushes Buster off the plate, 2 balls and 1 strike.
The Reds and DeSclafani know that Brandon Belt and Brandon Crawford have been struggling. There's an open base here for Posey. I don't expect to see him get a whole lot of mistakes out of the middle of the plate.
Three and 1.
And DeSclafani is pitching him the way you're supposed to. If he wants to hit your best pitch or something off the plate away below the knees, great. But if you throw something at the belt in the middle of the plate, that's your fault.
Posey with a good rip. It's 3 and 2.
He had a good pitch.
Brandon Crawford waiting in the wings. Hey, the Giants left New York just in time. The Mets game with the Cardinals was postponed. Three-two pitch. Rolled foul. Actually, they left at a good time for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, it was time to get back to San Francisco. That road trip that was 10 days long is beginning to feel like 10 months long.
Look at this guy. You think he's got a care in the world?
Nope.
If I want to jog up the aisles, I'll do that, Mom. See, they could go around me. And a base hit to right field, and we got action. Here comes Span, and here's the throw home. Not in time. Throw down to second, and Posey is out at second base. Giants lead 1-0.
Area is brought to you by AAA. Get a free road trip day pack with a AAA insurance quote. Go to AAA.com/road trip or a AAA branch for details. Restrictions apply.
Well, there's still time to support the Junior Giants Stretch Drive. Donations will help us continue to provide Junior Giants a free non-competitive baseball and life skills program for 25,000 boys and girls. Donate at the $50 stretch level and you'll receive a commemorative Matt Duffy bobblehead. And you can donate online at jrgiants.org.
Here's Jay Bruce with the Giants leading 1-0. Jay Bruce having a terrific season, and again, he's like 3 years in a row now. A lot of talk about where Jay Bruce might go before Monday. Monday is the trading deadline.
Such a major distraction to players, these And it's not just the last week, it's really the last couple of months. As soon as your team starts to take a turn, they start speculating that somebody on your team is going to get dealt for prospects. Team or organization is going to be a seller. And the one person that we've always really felt for it is not so much the player, and it's part of it. You've got a 25-man support system in the clubhouse. It's the wives. It's hard on the wives and the girlfriends.
The month before the trading deadline and every day that gets a little closer, it is the perfect scenario for social media, because you can throw out a rumor and it has
gone, goes around the world in 30 seconds.
Skied out to right for Parker, and that's the highest fly ball we've seen this year.
You know what Jay Bruce is going to say heading back to the Reds dugout? I just missed it.
Now I'm trying to write down whether that was a fly ball or a pop-up.
It's a little scary. Well, right now there's carry to right field. We saw it in batting practice. It's more carry than we normally see in this field. Not a whole lot of wind right now, and right field can be had.
So here's the former Giant Adam Duvall, and Duvall takes a pitch inside, 1 ball and no strikes. From trying to make the team in spring training to being in the home run derby during the All-Star break,
and doing well,
and did well. Peavy comes in with a strike. Going to miss 1 and 2, and that's what Peavy's trying to do. He's trying to run that ball in on Adam Duvall.
Now Duvall gets in that batter's box with 23 home runs. You know he's got power. Amongst the National League leaders in that category.
Two and 2.
Peavy not happy with that breaking ball. Pretty easy take. Duvall will strike out. He leads this Reds team in strikeouts. He has 101 and 330 at bats. But 23 home runs and 66 RBIs. Reds can live with that.
So everybody back and ready to go, and this is driven deep to right center field. Parker on the move, and Parker out in 421, puts it away.
And Adam Duvall just got AT&T'd, and he knows the deal here, having come up with the Giants. In Cincinnati, this is so far over the fence, it's a tape measure shot. Here, it's a big league hang with him. Giants had pinched that gap, anticipating that Duvall may go to right center, and it paid off. And all you can do is smile. He got every bit of that one.
And say, I'm glad I got traded. Phillips takes high, 1 ball and no strikes. Phillips at 263. See his 6 home runs, 36 runs batted in. Taps this one to Pena, and with the help of Triples Alley, a 1-2-3 inning for Peavy.
you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com.
1-0 Giants as Brandon Crawford's going to hit first. Buster Posey with an RBI single to knock in Span. Crawford hitting .272. And he takes a pitch down low. Crawford on the trip, 6 for 33. The Brandons are hitting back to back. Belt on deck and then Gillespie. There's a called strike at 92 miles per hour.
When a guy's going through a funk, you look at as to how he tries to repair himself, what type of work he does before the game, what type of approach he'll take into a game.
Out of play.
And Crawford is a guy that corrects himself with the opposite gap. He thinks left center. He'll try and use that side of the field. He has a very strong front shoulder in his approach anyway, but he tries to get even stronger when he feels like he's not hitting the ball the way he feels he should be hitting the ball.
Crawford will take first base. All right, let's check in with Amy G. Amy, we've missed you.
Oh, I missed you guys too. And guess what? I've got good news for you and fans on Matt Duffy, Joe Panik, both of them today here with the team, and earlier took some batting practice. Regarding Matt Duffy, he ran curves today. He is, quote, over the hump, Boach said, regarding that Achilles pain, and it's possible that he will go on a rehab this weekend. As for Panik, he's going to start his rehab tomorrow in Sacramento, guys. It's possible he could rejoin the team on this homestand, guys.
Okay. Well, good news, Amy.
Well,
I knew when we come back, Amy would just be full of good news.
That is good news. And it's the shot in the arm this team needs to get their injured players back. Hunter Pence very close. Eugenio Velez very close. But Brandon Belt, in the way that he repaired himself today, he was up there and he was pulling the ball. I think he feels that he's been blocking himself off and he has not been able to get a good look at the pitches today. He was thinking right field.
And a quick 0-2 to Belt.
And he was peppering the right field wall today. Big line drives, one after another. Nice play, Dad.
Look at that.
Yeah, some play.
Yep. His child next to him. Take care less, Dad.
She will.
I got some ice cream going.
Dad's a first baseman.
Dad. Good deal. Belt. Good news for Belt. Giants are playing the Reds. Check it out.
Brandon Belt since 2015 against the Reds, 500.
Out of play. Yep. She's a giraffe fan. She hearts the giraffe.
She hearts. She'll be patient as he gets out of the slump.
Oh, yeah.
Not a problem.
Not a problem. Gillespie on deck, and then Pena, and then Peavy. No DH, by the way, just in case you. Bell, little jam shot, center field, and it's going to fall. Take it. Don't give it back.
Well, that's how you get out of a slump.
Absolutely.
You start getting a few breaks, but this is a tough one if you're Brandon Crawford. Watch how he has to judge how far to get off the bag. Now, with Billy Hamilton, who covers a lot of ground, I mean, you can't be too sure. Plus, he has a cannon for an arm.
Cannon?
He's got a good arm. Is that one of the toughest plays for a guy in the base
That's
pass?
why I like coming to work with you. You do all the homework, and I just ask the questions. Yeah, that is a hard one. This is skied out to left, and it'll be Duvall. There's Crawford, a bluff. It's tough because it looks really bad if you could force it second. And not only that, the guy who hits the ball is really ticked off at you.
Especially if he's been in a slump and he's looking for a hit.
So here's Pena. Pena hitting at .316. He's got a home run. He's got 9 runs batted in. His road trip, he had 31 at bats on the trip, getting 8 hits and 31 at bats. And he looks at a strike.
For Anthony DeSclafani, this is how he will use his pitches. You're going to ride that sinker a lot. And that slider, it's more of a cutter. So a lot of what you see, about 86% of it's going to be hard stuff. Curveball, changeup, he'll show if it's working, but for the most part, he's coming at you hard.
Lifted to left, Duvall again on the move. And going to come up a little short, although this fan made a nice catch. Be careful. If Duvall's a little closer to that, then you got a problem. And Dad's like, good job, and then he was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, we've never seen a kid get kicked out and the parent allowed to stay if there's ever been an interference call.
Dad would have to take one for the family if that's the case.
Yeah.
Oh, and 2. And Pena, did he get a piece? He did not. So Giants, this inning started out very nicely, and now there's 2 outs, and Peavy's coming up.
Well, Jake Peavy will give you a good at bat. You're hitting 168. You're a week away from August. You're doing it as a pitcher.
First pitch high to Peavy. 5 for 25.
He's hitting right at 200 on the season, and that's way above the norm. 200 for a pitcher is like 300 for a hitter.
Peavy with a healthy rip. It always amazes me with Peavy. You can't see Buster Posey's fingers, but he's got 3 RBIs and 5 hits.
It's good production.
1 and 2.
Good breaking ball.
Down low, 2 and 2.
Talking about ball players getting better with Panic and Duffy. I think I said A-Ray. I meant to say A-Ray Adrianza. I think I said Eugenio Velez. He's no longer in the organization. Although there is an Eugenio on the field tonight for the Reds. Suarez at third base. Got my Eugenios mixed up.
2 and 2. And that'll end the inning. Giants stranded pair, 3rd inning coming up. It's 1-0 Giants.
area is brought to you by Amici's East Coast Pizzeria. When you want the best pizza in town, Amici's delivers.
Well, the Nationals are in town this Thursday through Sunday, and the first 20,000 fans, they're going to take home a Buster Hugs mug on Saturday, courtesy of AAA, and then on Sunday, the first 30,000 fans, they're going to take home a Bruce Bochy gnome, and that's presented by AT&T, sfgiants.com/tickets. Here's Eugenio Suarez to lead things off. The Reds' third baseman, who has tons of power. He's a strikeout, big fly guy.
100 strikeouts on the year. Duvall, one more than Suarez.
And he goes around. It's 0-2. 16 home runs, 42 runs batted in.
And when you're pitching against a guy who has strikeout totals like Suarez, you know there are holes in his swing, but you also know that there's danger zones.
Yeah, you make a mistake.
And they don't make two strike adjustments. They don't take swing out ever. In their mind, every swing's a 2-0 count.
One ball, two strikes. Hit into center field, but Span is all over it.
Hardly had to move. Got that ball up at bat nicely.
Here's Barnhart. Barnhart starting to show the Reds that he's got a chance to play a lot. He's hitting .262 with 5 home runs. He's got 25 runs batted in. Peavy's first pitch is high. Devin Mesoraco was the guy that they had a couple of years ago. He was going to be the guy that was going to catch for them for a long time. And then injuries upon injuries have just set him back where he's on the disabled list.
They don't know if he's ever going to catch again.
Yeah.
That's how severe the injuries are. And that's a shame because he was a talent. He may resurface as a first baseman. He got a great bat, but I don't know if he'll ever catch again.
Peavy and the 1-1 pitch. Hit out to Pena, who's waving Parker off.
Let's take a look at the motion for Jake Peavy. It's a low 3/4 release, and from that low 3/4 you get lots of movement, and with Peavy he's always been able to command lots of movement on both sides of the plate with high velocity. I mean, earlier in his career he was 95 and above. It's our Exmo. It's brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Love that Exmo.
Hit on the ground sharply to Crawford on the backhand. Picks it up, throws in the dirt. Belt can't hang on to it, and reaching is Descalfani. So they're going to give Crawford an error.
Ball really exploded on him. Looked like he had a little stumble with his back right foot as he was getting positioned.
He never caught it.
And he knew he had to throw it in a hurry. And Brandon Belt just could not pick up the 1-0.
He knocked it down with his bare hand. I don't think I've seen that before.
Maybe that's not a bad thing. Billy Hamilton. Descalfani at first base doesn't have a whole lot of speed, so.
This is hit on the ground to Belt, and that'll end the inning. Top of the order coming up.
accountable, and now it's expanding its resources to help solve your consumer problems. Introducing NBC Bay Area Responds, a new team dedicated to investigating your consumer complaints and returning your money. Contact 1-888-996-TIPS or visit NBCBayArea.com/responds. Every call, every email will be answered. NBC Bay Area, we investigate. And there's the free to be coming into McCovey Cove.
All right, way to go. Here's Span. Span on the first pitch, hits one out to Duvall. One pitch went out. All right, let's check in with Amy G.
All right, guys, you are well aware we like to talk about a good Giant, whether he's a former Giant or a current Giant. Adam Duvall, now a Red, in the house, but a former Giant. His first home run with San Francisco. We're going to make it our healthy dose of goodness. It's brought to you by Eric's Deli Cafe, and ironically, it comes off of Mike Leake, who he eventually was traded for June 16, 2014. Guys, he told me earlier today about the Giants, a first-class organization. They do everything the right way. He'll always hold a special place in his heart because he grew up so much in front of the San Francisco fan base. Guys?
Thank you, Amy. Yes, Duvall, Adam Duvall, a good guy. Pagan struck out in the first. He takes a strike. Trying to reach now for Jared Parker, and it's a quick 0-2.
That's some paint right there. Sinker moving away from Pagan. Pagan, I don't think is 100% convinced that that was indeed a pitch that went across the plate.
And Pagan stays alive. John Miller's going to be in this booth with Mike for innings 4, 5, and 6. Dave Fleming is on assignment. He'll be back tomorrow. And I'll be back here in the 7th. Close, but low. 1-2. Pagan steps out. I believe Dave's in Boston on assignment. No clue what he's doing there, but
probably head to the airport.
I think he left some luggage there. They got to go back.
That game ended with the Red Sox losing to the Tigers in Fenway Park.
Two-two to Pagan. Pagan bounces it slowly to Phillips, who will make the play. 2 outs. And here's Parker. Parker popped out in the first inning. DeSclafani settled on after allowing the run in the first. Was in trouble in the second, but got the bottom 3 in the Giants lineup. Parker takes low.
Change up in a 1-0 count. That's the one pitch that DeSclafani really has not been able to establish yet. And really, like the scout report said, I mean, a lot of fastballs with sink, a lot of cutters. Not a whole lot of soft stuff.
That's got to be the line for either the crab sandwich or the Ghirardelli.
Crab sandwich. Yeah, folks, they're that good.
Parker holds up. No swing. 3-1. They are that good.
They're that good.
We have people that come to the games not to watch baseball, but just to eat that sandwich.
Yeah. called broadcasters.
3-2 now to Parker.
Nice command of that front door sink. He's throwing that pitch off the plate, letting its movement come back into the strike zone. And no left-handers really pulling the trigger on it.
And the walk.
Not by much. I think they saw Parker back off the plate a little bit. That's why Sclafani wanted to go to the outside corner. Originally, Barnhart, the catcher, called that inside corner fastball again. DeSclafani shook it off, and he almost made the perfect pitch.
Buster Posey knocked in the Giants' only run with a single to right in the first. Hooks this one. Foul. Parker's got good wheels at first once he gets going.
That's a happy family. That is a happy family. I'm not sure who's happier, Dad or his son.
It's a tie. Posey again bounces it foul. Nice catch.
Yeah, gamer babe.
Keeping score. Got the glove.
Ain't no thing.
Protecting everybody in that section.
Oh yeah.
This is a piece of cake.
Brought my glove. Sweet spot. Like I meant to do. Gamer babe. And she gave it to this little one.
It's going to fit right in that pocket. That's the best. 0-2. Blocked by Barnhart. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Psyched. It's not her first play. I want you to know that. But she's getting some mileage with it with the old man.
Yeah. Buster hits it to right. Moving back is Bruce, but he's going to get underneath it, and that'll end the inning. So John Miller will be in. I'll see you back here in the 7th. It's 1-0 Giants.
AT&T, it's 1-0 Giants. We're going into the top of the 4th inning, and now joining us in the booth, my friend John Miller. Welcome.
Thanks. And Jake Peavy looks excellent so far. And Jared Parker made a great play deep in the alley against his old Giants teammate Adam Duvall. So here we go. Back to the field.
Nice. Well done.
I was like the director. I did Jim Lynch's job there. Ready, one, take two, or one. And there is a called strike.
I don't think we could do that job that Jim Lynch does.
Nobody can do it. It's not humanly possible. So and Jim does it better than anybody. And I've met him. He's human.
Yeah.
You know, from what I can see. I don't know about during the game, though.
Well, he's got a little bit of a boiler and he's losing his hair. Yeah, he's kind of human. Other than that, once he becomes the director of our broadcast, he is not human.
It is a tough job. And it could be a whole TV show all by itself. Just what goes on in the truck and how they actually put one of these together. Zach Cozart. And he's dangerous. 15 home runs. And he pulls that one foul.
It's a nice job of getting that fastball in on the hands. And that's the one big difference when you compare the PV now to what you saw in the first 10 starts of the season. He didn't have that finish. He didn't have that commitment on either side of the plate on the corners. And now he gets in on right-handers almost at will.
He got in on that right-handed hitter. A pop-up, and it is Crawford right alongside Pena. And Cozart is now 0 for 2. He struck out his first time. Giants ahead 1-0 as we play the fourth inning. Here's Joey Votto. This Reds team can hit the long ball. They've knocked out 108 homers in 98 games. 17 of them hit by Joey Votto. He struck out his first time. 1 ball, no strike. What a night here. And it's that time of the evening where the setting sun is being reflected off the picture windows up in the hills over in Berkeley and Oakland. It makes a rather spectacular sight from the ballpark.
Well, it looks like bonfires from where we're looking at it. And it is spectacular on a clear night.
Some of the remnants of the old Bay Bridge and the new. Votto with a foul out of play off to the left.
Votto's been hot. He's hitting every game since the break for the Reds. Hitting over 500. And those are the long balls you're talking about. Duvall leads the team with 23. Bruce on his heels at 21. Then Votto, Suarez, Cozart, all 15 or more home runs.
It's 5 hitters with 15 or more. Buster Posey leads the Giants, all Giants hitters, with 12. Of course, the Reds ballpark is a little more conducive to the long ball. 2-2. And the Reds have hit 67 of their home runs in their home games. 52 home games. 67. They have allowed 90 home runs in those 67 home games. They've hit 41 homers on the road in 46 games. So they're averaging less than a home run per game when traveling. First time that Jake Peavy's gone to a 3-ball count in this game. Cleanup hitter Jay Bruce is on deck. Another lefty. And that is a walk. Joey Votto gets a lot of those. That's the 73rd time this year that Votto has walked. That's the second most of any hitter in the National League. Bryce Harper of the Nats, who will be in town starting Thursday, is number 175. So here's Jay Bruce, who hit a fly ball to right in the second inning. He's 0 for 1. And now Buster Posey is going to go out to talk with Jake Peavy.
Well, I think he senses that Peavy is not comfortable right now. And the other thing too about Posey, he's really good at when a guy lowers his arm slot. I mean, he's very reactive. He gets out there right away and says, "Hey, Get that arm up higher. Get that elbow above your shoulder. You got a little push in your delivery right now. You're losing that crack of the whip.
Votto back to the bag. Giants have the overshift now. 3 infielders to the right of second against Jay Bruce. Bruce leads the Reds in RBIs and is second on the team to Adam Duvall in home runs with 21. Duvall is on deck. 1-0 Giants in the 4th. That's a strike. Now today, Aroldis Chapman got traded by the Yankees to the Chicago Cubs, and another name that's been brought up so many times in trade rumors is the guy we're looking at right here, Jay Bruce. But he's still a Red, and he's really had a bounce back year. Much better year than he had last year. That ball is smoked deep into right center field. Parker all the way back at the wall. It's gone. And Parker thought that a fan reached out over the field of play and interfered with it.
I think he did reach out. I think he came over the wall. This is going to be something that they'll review. Parker shaking his head. Take a look. If he came over the wall.
Well, he's definitely beyond the wall and over the field, but it's difficult to say because he also looked like he was still above the top of the wall.
And the guy sitting next to him going, dude, what are you doing? You're killing us here. So Joe West is going to look. I don't think that's going to come back, at least not from that angle. But he definitely has a lean right there. Now they have to figure out as to whether or not the fly of the ball would have hit the wall and stayed in. No question he leaned over.
This replay review is presented by Xfinity. Joe West on the left. Kerwin Danley, the second base umpire, whose call it was, also with the headphones on. You can see, I think, pretty conclusively that he was above the top of the wall. The ball is heading down toward that wall. This is a little bit of more of a close-up look, and I don't think that they'll change that call based on the views we're seeing, as you just said.
No, I don't see this one get changed.
Now maybe on the Reds telecast they had a little bit of a different view that maybe shows something different, but we don't have access to that.
So Joe West, the crew chief, on the left. Kerwin Danley on the right. Replaying it here, the fans are starting to boo the fan that made the play. The guy that had the best view was Jared Parker, and he immediately pointed up to it.
Well, Parker could see that he leaned out and that his glove was out over the field of play. But even Jared did not necessarily have the great view as to whether the ball would have hit the top of that wall or gone into the seats anyway. So they're still talking it over with the umpire or umpires back in New York who have been viewing all the different angles, trying to figure out if they can see something different than what we've been able to see, and it is a home run. And the Reds have a 2-1 lead now. Jay Bruce with his 22nd home run. It gives him 75 runs batted in.
Take a look from our splash cam. The high, majestic path. And in the end, the fans just dropped the ball back on the playing field.
He felt bad. I think he had no idea even that he was leaning out over the top of the field. He just was focused on that ball. Yeah, look. Adam Duvall. Now Duvall hit one out to that same part of the ballpark, but more toward the 421 sign, and it got run down by Jared Parker, who with a very exciting catch because he had to go a long, long way to get it. So Duvall got AT&T'd. And that his deep fly ball in Cincinnati is a tape measure home run way back into the bleachers at the Great American Ballpark.
That's one they're bragging about. Opposite field cap, tape measure. Here, it's a big league hang with it.
You know, even if he hit one against Peavy in Cincinnati. Peavy allowed 4 home runs in just a few innings in Cincinnati that day back in early May. That's a foul ball. 2-2 the count.
Well, much different Jake Peavy now than what we saw early in the year, what the Reds saw in Cincinnati. And really, it's a much different team that the Reds are showing the Giants tonight than what they saw early in the year. It's a confident team. They've got off to a nice start here the second half. They've won their last 3 series.
And it's a full count now. 1 out, 2 runs in for the Reds. One other thought on that home run by Jay Bruce. That wall out there is 20 feet high. And Parker was in very deep beneath that wall. That's why he got such a good look at the fan reaching out over the field of play to catch the ball. And that's a walk. So he's walked 2 of the last 3. And the man in between, Bruce, hit a 2-run homer. Even if the umpires in New York had ruled that it was a ball that would have hit the wall, they might have ruled that it was going to be a triple. So.
Well, I think that's the one thing that they don't do enough of. It's umpire's discretion. It's not an automatic double. It's in their mind what they think that hit would have produced. And I agree with you, John. I think they could have said, hey, he'd had a triple. Bruce runs well. Hey, but this is the play you don't see very often.
And to throw to first. The umpires in New York, if they were to have ruled that it was fan interference, then they also have to, not the umpires here, but the umpires in New York would then have to set the runners. And it would have been up to their discretion as to whether he would have been given a double or a triple or whatever. But I don't think Parker would have been there playing the carom. He was right under the guy who caught it. On 1 the count to Brandon Phillips. Phillips grounded out his first time.
The dilemma of the outfielder when you're trying to catch that ball. I mean, you want to get deep enough to try and catch it, but then there's that point in time where you realize you don't have a chance. Now you have to try and recover and get back to play the carom. Well, you can't. It has to be another outfielder. Denard Span would have been there, but it would have been interesting to see what the discretionary decision was from the umpires in New York.
Brandon Phillips still one of the top fielding second basemen. Certainly doesn't have the range that he once had when he was a perennial Gold Glover, but still pretty good. Only 6 home runs for him this year. Whoa, that was close.
That's a great 0-2 pitch. That's how you want an 0-2 pitch to be. I mean, Peavy wanted it on the call. He thought he caught that outside corner. Didn't miss by much.
One ball, 2 strikes. And it's 2-2.
The thing about this Reds team is they'll all run. I mean, it's obviously have one of the best base stealers in all of baseball at the top of their lineup, Billy Hamilton, but everybody in this Reds club, they will go. Phillips, a good two-strike hitter.
He's had 49 hits, among the leaders in the National League in two-strike base hits. And that is strike 3.
Saying that was a ball, man. Well, that's a two-seam fastball that's coming back in, and the movement's coming back to the strike zone. Now Phillips is saying, wait a second, you already called that one area, but that was with movement going away from the strike zone. This is movement coming back in. Now Brian Price, the skipper for the Reds, coming out. Make sure he keeps his second baseman in the game. Now this is the slider in the 0-2 pitch that didn't get called a strike. Now this is the two-seam fastball that comes back to the strike zone. And you can understand the complaint from Brandon Phillips. One can't be a ball and one can't be a strike. In his mind, they're both balls. And I don't think I disagree with him.
Well, it was just that movement coming back to the plate seemed to cinch the deal for Mark Ripperger, the plate umpire. And there are umpires like that. If there's movement coming back to the plate, they're much more likely to go with a strike. Anyway, but I agree with you. Looked like Buster caught it almost exactly the same spot in relation to the outside corner both times. 1 ball, no strikes to Suarez. A long inning for Jake Peavy. This will be his 27th pitch of this one inning. 2 runs in for Cincinnati. They lead 2-1 here in the 4th.
That's another bad thing about walks. Walks cost you pitches. And then the era of the pitch count can prove to be costly. 3-4 walks in a ball game may cost you the ability to pitch another inning.
Off the outside, 2-0. He's walked 2 in the inning. With 1 out, he walked Votto, and he was ahead of Votto. Couldn't put him away. Votto got the walk, which is not unusual. Then Jay Bruce hit the 2-run homer. And that's an impressive 2-run homer into that part of the ballpark over the 20-foot high wall. That ball is smoked. Deep left center field. It's on its way and way up into the bleachers. A 2-run homer for Suarez. His 17th homer of the year. And the long ball is hurting the Giants again. They allowed 13 homers in the 8 games on the road trip. And here it is. It's happening again.
Well, it's rare that this ballpark plays small, and it's happened tonight. But this is absolutely on a tee for Suarez, who has outstanding power. And he gets every bit of this one. That's almost halfway up the bleachers in left center. That's a big boy.
4-1 Cincinnati. And that's a strike. You got the low strike against Barnhart. That's the Reds game. Hitting the long ball. Giants had that stretch the first 5 games of the road trip. The starting pitcher gave up 2 home runs or more in all 5 of those games. A complete circuit through the Giants rotation. And then they kept the Yankees from any home runs at all the first 2 games. And then New York hit homers in the first 2 innings yesterday against Samardzija.
You know, Peavy's upset about the home runs, but I believe he's as upset about the walks that set up the home runs.
They have 4 runs on 2 hits in the inning. 1-2 the count to Barnhart. He popped out to second, his first time. Giants have allowed 99 home runs this year. And they've hit 83. But amazingly, in this ballpark, they had allowed only 34 before tonight. Belt, Peavy over to cover in plenty of time. But the Giants have to play catch up now. Crawford, then Belt coming up. Now live with the MLB.com at bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. We could not function without it.
No, we could not.
And I don't mean while we're at the ballpark. Almost any time of the day or night. Where's my app? Where's the Wi-Fi? What do you mean this plane doesn't have Wi-Fi?
I know. Yeah.
Here's Brandon Crawford, and it's 0-1. That ball down from DeSclafani. Hi. Hello.
The whole family's here. They're all dressed up. It's a good-looking bunch.
Oh, she's dressed up for firefighter night here. 1 strike the count, and strike 2. He changed up on him.
We're being told that I think there's going to be over 2,500 firemen here at the ballpark tonight.
Wow. Welcome.
Indeed.
One ball, 2 strikes.
The lefty O'Doul bridge.
The pipes and drums, Fireman's Band.
Yeah, they were good. Came out and played for everybody. And they were really good. SFFD.
Full count now to Crawford. DeSclafani trying to refrain from throwing that big fastball. Here to Brandon Crawford. Brandon Belt on deck. Pretty good rip at that one, but back just off to our left, right over toward almost into Dwayne Kuiper's booth over there on the radio side.
He'll make the play. DeSclafani making that 3-2 pitch the way you're supposed to when you have a 3-run lead.
And he ends up walking him 93 miles an hour out of the strike zone.
Nice at that. Well, the Giants Insider Podcast is sponsored by Max Muscle Sports Nutrition. It is live on CSNBayArea.com. Log on each week as insider Alex Pavlovich talks baseball. And oh yeah, by the way, it's also available on iTunes. Check it out.
Alex, one of the great reporters in the game. Here is Brandon Belt, who singled to center his first time. And that one, a lot of sinking action. It missed, and that one may have crossed up the catcher Barnhart, who was lucky at the last moment to actually catch it. A lot of movement on that one. And it seemed to catch him by surprise.
Let's take a look at the glove action. Barnhart, they want the inside front door sink. Just takes off on Barnhart. Winds up looking like a left-handed cutter. That's how much movement. DeSclafani does not lack for movement.
Got the call on that one, and Belt shakes his head. Thought it was off the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Watched him take batting practice today, and he was peppering the right field wall, and that's unusual for his batting practice. He's usually gap to gap, thinking middle of the field. Today he was trying to pull the ball.
Fotto on the bag at first with Crawford, and he's off the outside. 2-1. Had a little break coming back toward the plate, but off the outside. 2-1. There you see how they're playing it. The outfield kind of bunched up toward center.
And they take away the gaps. They give the lines on both sides of the field.
They tried it again. That little break coming back, but it stayed off the outside. 3-1.
Well, this is where you want a guy with power. Count leverage on a 3-1 count. He's had it at bat already. Now he's seen 4 pitches in this at bat. He's not going to be surprised by movement or speed.
Gillespie on deck. Left center field, hit well. Hamilton Still going, and adios! Pelota! Brandon Crawford will score on Brandon Belt's return. He's back, and it's nice to see it. That is a long home run in this yard. 404 feet to the spot where the left field wall meets the center field wall. That is no cheapie to the opposite field. And it's 4-3 Cincinnati.
That's how you take advantage of count leverage. 3-1 pitch, a little two-seamer comes right back in to the strike zone at the knees, middle away. And he went right with the movement. It's rare that this ballpark will look small, and it's looking small tonight. A look from the splash cam. And he knew it when he left the box. He knew he got it.
Brandon Belt, his 11th home run of the year. It's ball one to Connor Gillespie.
3 2-run homers in this game, and all of the home runs are preceded by a walk. 2 for the Reds in the top of the 4th. Here, Crawford's walk set up Belt.
And that curve got the high strike on it to Gillespie, who hit a fly ball to left his first time. Well, the splits on DeSclafani are pretty pronounced. The lefties have hit very well against him. That's a swing and a miss, but it goes to the backstop, and he is going to make it to first base. He strikes out on a wild pitch and is at a board.
Pretty good curveball right down the dirt. Ball hits and skips away from Barnhart. And catchers hate that. I mean, a slow curveball, they know what the movement on the pitch is going to be. Very seldom are you surprised. That's one they feel they should block every time. So the Giants catch a break.
And that's the 4th strikeout for DeSclafani, but he doesn't get it out. Now Pena skies one, foul, and out of play. Suarez came over, ran out of room. Pena struck out his first time. Lefties have hit, coming into this game, had hit .333 against DeSclafani. Right-handed hitters 192, and no right-handed hitter has hit a home run against him this year. All of the home runs he's allowed have been hit by the lefties. And that's why Mac Williamson is not in there, but Jarrett Parker is. There's a pitch out, but Gillespie not going. No hit and run action here. I mean, they had to be thinking hit and run, right? Because he's not a base stealer.
Well, he's got one. I guess that makes you a base stealer.
Their scout must have seen that. And it's a little bit low. 2-1. Yeah, gone.
Yep, her man did it. She's a big Baby Giraffe fan, Brandon Belt.
So the Reds with a 4-run top of the 4th. 2-run homers by Bruce and Suarez, and now Brandon Belt, a 2-run homer for the Giants. And Gillespie aboard, even though he struck out on a wild pitch. 2-1 the count to Ramiro Pena. And 3-1. The pitcher, Jake Peavy, is on deck. DeSclafani has thrown 21 pitches in this inning. There's Jake. So a lot of action. And a lot of long balls in this inning. There's Votto. There's one, and that's all they'll get. Cozart covering. Gillespie forced out at second base.
Well, I vote that guy best dressed tonight.
It looks like a Mike Krukow autograph on it.
You know, I always feel funny when somebody asks you to autograph a uniform, because I feel, you know, if you came home with ink spots on your uniform when I was a kid, that was not well received by my mom. So old habits.
Well, let's say you'd come home with the in-spots provided by Sandy Koufax. Would that have been okay?
And she may have forgiven me.
And Pena is picked off. Wow. Only one out in the inning. Peavy trying to bunt him over. And Ramiro Pena. And I guess Pena must have thought that Peavy was going to lay that one down. Look how far away he got.
It's a planned play, and you could almost see Phillips sneaking in behind him. And as soon as Votto left the position, that was the cue for Phillips to come from behind. And Barnhart knew the play was on. That's something they set up before the pitch.
So with 2 down and the base is empty. Peavy swinging away.
Watch Phillips come in from behind. I mean, as soon as he breaks towards Votto breaks towards home, Phillips goes the bag, and Pena was hung out.
Well, that's a good play.
Well, the timing has to be perfect. And Barnhart doesn't have a real strong arm, but he's got a quick delivery. And the timing of that play could not have been better.
Three and 2. And I like that from a pitcher. 3-1. And Jake was saying that. Make him throw a strike. And that ends the inning. Well, the Reds' 4-run inning, and Brandon Belt replies as he goes, bye-bye, baby, as Russ Hodges used to say. So it's a 1-run game as we head to the 5th inning at AT&T Park. True stories. July 25th, 2003. Pedro Feliz hit this home run to win the game against the San Diego Padres. It was 2-2, and Bruce Bochy was not too happy about it. 13 years ago, as the manager of the Pods, he hit it against Jay Witasick. First time that he had hit a game-ending home run, and it was the second game in a row the Giants won in walk-off fashion. Barry Bonds on his birthday the day before against Arizona ended up winning it in a walk-off. Here's Anthony DeSclafani, Reds pitcher, and Peavy catches the outside with that curveball nicely. It's 0-2. Well, the baby giraffe's not coming up anytime soon, so it's a good time to get away and get some Ghirardelli.
Time to get a sundae.
1-2.
Are you a chocolate guy or a caramel guy?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, just between you and me. You can't have both. Or
Well, yeah, you can.
something wrong with that? Or?
It is not illegal, at least in 32 states. That stuff is good.
Jake Peavy gets his 4th strikeout. DeSclafani is gone.
That's what you do when you have the pitcher lead off. You get that out. I mean, this is an opportunity for a shutdown inning. With Peavy having the rocky 4th inning, his team gets him back to within 1. He needs to get them back in the dugout. They're thinking good thoughts right now.
There's the 4th strikeout. 3 swinging, and that 1 backward K, indicating 1 on a called 3rd strike. That was Phillips in the 4th inning. Billy Hamilton shows bunt, takes a called strike, and Connor Gillespie came rushing in from 3rd. Everybody gets, all the infielders get a little tense when this guy comes up.
Well, he's that fast, and that's the one area of improvement the Reds are really hoping that he starts to take off in, and that's on base percentage.
Ooh, that was called a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Because right now his on base percentage is at .299. I think acceptable at the big league level is .350, and if he could get to .350, he could be an all-star.
Strike 2. And .350, you mean for a leadoff man?
For a leadoff man, a .350 on base percentage I think is good. .375 very good. .400 great. But for a guy with his speed, I mean, he could utilize getting on base. I mean, he's a base stealing phenomenon.
Back to the screen. 1 and 2. He's had 32 steals, 3rd most in the league. Jonathan Villar of Milwaukee, number 1, 36. Starling Marte of Pittsburgh, 34, and then Hamilton. But those guys get on base a lot more often than Billy Hamilton gets. Villar was up around .370 on base average, and Marte's way up there too. And some movement coming back to the plate, but 2 and 2 off the inside apparently. One out, nobody on. Zach Cozart on deck. Pena's got it. Going to have to hurry. And out. Well done. Two down.
If he doesn't get picked off, I don't know if he makes this play. You get picked off, you get better range. You see, even as quickly as he got to his feet, it was still a close play because of the speed from Hamilton. Beautiful defensive work by Ramiro Pena.
It's great getting to the ball with the dive, but that's only half the job. It doesn't really mean anything if you don't get up and still throw the guy out.
You're right, you've got to convert. Just pure speed.
Strike 2 called to Cozart. Jake Peavy, who had a very long 4th inning. He threw 33 pitches in the 1 inning alone. Trying to get a 3 up, 3 down here with Votto on deck. And that is strike 3. He gets the 3 up, 3 down inning with 2 strikeouts. He's got 5 for the game. Top of the order, Span, Pagan, and Parker coming up.
Area is brought to you by the California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways, reminding you that life jackets save lives. Wear them, please. Thank you.
Here is Denard Span, who has doubled and scored a run and flied out to left center. And that drops in there neatly for a called strike.
And he's got a better curveball now than he did the first couple of innings.
Reds have action going in their bullpen. Raisel Iglesias, a right-hander, throwing. 0-2.
Yeah, that's a changeup. So is softballing Denard Span here with a curveball and backed it up with a changeup. And that's the first time tonight that he's throwing 2 off-speed pitches over the plate, getting the strike zone back to back.
Angel Pagan on deck. 1-2. You saw Iglesias, the right-hander, who was in the rotation, and early in the year he was probably the Reds' best starting pitcher. Then he went on the disabled list, and they've used him as a reliever since he came back, and he's been excellent. Off DeSclafani, and no throw. Span has a hit.
Well, Denard Span has really been running well, and he is not going to give you a lot of opportunity. If the ball caroms off a pitcher to an infielder, I mean, he in all likelihood is going to beat it out if it's on the left side of the infield. Let's see where this hits DeSclafani. Could have been on the right knee, but Eugenio Suarez, the third baseman, really didn't have a chance. Span knew he had a chance for a hit, and he was cooking.
2 hits for Denard Span. Here is Pagan, who has struck out and grounded out to second. Span back to the bag. Span with 9 steals, tied with Pagan for the club lead in that category. DeSclafani, who had a very stressful 4th inning, he's up to 84 pitches for the game now. That ball is smoked high and deep, way back there. Adios, pelota! A long home run, a big fly for Pagan that puts the Giants ahead.
The long ball, and he hasn't been able to see a whole lot of them lately. They tried to go inside, and I got to believe Pagan was looking for it. He opened up that hip, cleared the way, and unloaded on it. Home run number 6 on the year. And let's watch it from the splash can. And with no doubt about it, you watch Jay Bruce, the right fielder for the Reds, and he didn't take but a couple of steps and stopped. He knew it was out.
It was way up over the wall and almost out to the arcade. That's a long one to that part of this ballpark. Pagan's 6th home run of the year, and the Giants are back ahead 5-4 now. Did he swing? No, says third base umpire.
But you know, you go back to the shutdown inning for Peavy in the top of the 5th. After his team put up a 2 spot in the bottom of the 4th, they're thinking good thoughts. They're thinking offensive, good, positive thoughts. And what's he do? He throws a 3-up, 3-down inning on him, gets that team right back in the dugout. And here they've scored 2 for him to give him the lead. So important for a pitcher to feed the momentum of an offense, and that's exactly what he did.
Jumbo Diaz starts to throw in the bullpen now. I guess Raisel Iglesias was just doing some throwing on the side. 3-1. And now it's a full count.
Well, 90 pitches into this outing, and there's nobody out here in the 5th inning. And that's why Diaz has got the red alert.
And he struck him out, and he may have chased ball 4 on that one.
I think if Brian Price, the skipper for the Reds, was going to make a pitching change and the Reds had a lead, he would have brought in Iglesias. And when they lost the lead, that's when he got Jumbo Diaz up. It's Brian Price.
All right, so you've done some analysis of this.
Well, they've been setting up with Iglesias. I mean, he's been a late inning guy. I definitely think he's the type of arm that they're going to bring in when they have a lead.
So as soon as they lost the lead, then Iglesias sat down. That's gloved by Suarez. Shows a very strong arm, throwing out Buster Posey, out number 2.
Brian Price from Tamalpais High School up in Mill Valley. Also went to Cal.
I'm used to somebody's warming up in the 4th and 5th inning that he's the long man that day.
Well, yeah.
But he's only the long man if they're ahead, I guess. But he has been one of their top guys.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see him up in the 5th, to be honest.
And he got up in the 4th inning before that. One ball, no strikes to Brandon Crawford.
I can't remember the last time this ballpark felt this small.
It's the 5th inning, and there have been 4 home runs hit. 2 by the Reds, 2 by the Giants.
Yeah,
in fact, there have been 4 home runs hit just in the last 2 innings.
All 2-run shots.
One and 2 now to Crawford, who's been hit by a pitch and walked and scored a run.
Well, DeStefani thinking, well, if he's going to swing at that curveball in the dirt, I'm going back down there again. It's one thing you can tell when a guy's been struggling. Usually, guys who are struggling will lose their strike zone. You'll get them to go out of the strike zone a lot. You can take advantage of it. I think that was the intent of the pitch.
And Duvall takes it to end the inning. But Angel Pagan, tell it bye-bye, baby. Back onto the arcade. The big hitters coming up with the Reds. Votto, Bruce, and Duvall. 5-4 Giants.
Right now, we're going to talk about our Togo's big play, the Togo's way. Yesterday in New York, Romero Pena, Brandon Crawford turned a great double play in the 6th inning. And that's with Jacoby Ellsbury batting, who doesn't hit into a lot of deuces. That's our Togo's big play, the Togo's way.
That was quite a play. And the Pena made an outstanding play to get the speedy Billy Hamilton in the 5th inning of this game. A single out, but very impressively handled. Joey Votto, who has struck out and walked. His walk in the 4th inning started a 4-run Reds rally. And he's got a base hit down the right field line. Parker hustling over. He was over in right center to begin with. And he into a slide, trying to knock it down, but it rolled away from him. So Votto gets the double anyway. Now let's check in with Amy G.
All right, John, thank you. And earlier tonight we talked about the pretty awesome road trip that Mac Williamson had, and he actually credits tonight's battery for his gain in confidence. He's living with Jake Peavy right now, and he said both Peavy and Buster Posey have come to him at separate times and said, hey, we have been through this too. It happens. You just bear down and get through it. He also told me, guys, that it's helping a lot, that he's getting a lot more playing time. He's able to feel a lot more calm at the plate and able to slow the game down. The bigger question, how is Peavy as a roommate? He said he's very clean. They play a lot of music. Good roommate. I thought that was a good report on Peavy. Guys.
All right.
Clean likes music. That'll be on his baseball card next year.
So when he said clean, what exactly did he mean? Just like he takes a lot of showers and picks up after himself, doesn't leave stuff laying around, or what exactly did he mean by that?
Well, it's a wide spectrum of maybes and what ifs. Derek Law starting to get heated up.
Jay Bruce hit a long 2-run homer back in the 4th inning. His 22nd of the year, and he's got the possible tying run there at second base and nobody out. Joey Votto, who just doubled. And it's 2-1. The RBI leaders in the National League: Nolan Arenado of Colorado, #1, Rizzo of the Cubs, and then Jay Bruce, just ahead of the Nats, Daniel Murphy. Trevor Story, what a rookie season he's having. Jay Bruce, how much longer is he going to be a Red? The trading deadline's next Monday. His name's been out there. There doesn't a week go by where his name hasn't been brought up in some kind of a trade rumor. And that goes back to even before the season even started.
It's a big pitch right here. 3-1, nobody out.
That ball is smoked. Deep right center. It is gone. Another one for Jay Bruce. His 2nd consecutive 2-run homer. And the Reds go right back ahead, 6-5. We got a home run derby going on here at AT&T Park. The 5th home run in the last 2.5 innings.
All 2-run shots. The Reds are making this place look like the Great American Ballpark.
And Bruce Bochy's got Derek Law in the bullpen. It looks like he's going to make a change here and a double switch.
3-1, little hanging slider, or maybe a cutter. Didn't have a whole lot into it. He had to get in the strike zone. And Bruce strong enough to take on any part of this ballpark. It's number 23.
So Derek Law is going to come in, and Gregor Blanco also. 6-5 Cincinnati. We'll be right back. Change when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change at Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Derek Law into the game now. 37th time he's come in for Bruce Bochy. 3-1 with a 2.62 ERA. Over a strikeout an inning with 36 strikeouts against 6 walks. See mid-90s fastballs, curveball, slider, changeup.
Gregor Blanco also into the game, replacing Jarrett Parker in right field. So Law will be in the 3rd spot in the batting order, where Parker had been. Blanco in the number 9 spot. He'll be due up 4th in the next go round. Fastball at the knees. It's 0-2 to Adam Duvall, who has flied out deep to right center. Parker made an outstanding play after running a long way. Caught it out near the 421. And then Duvall walked his last time just ahead of a home run. And that one, a curveball that dropped almost straight downward. 1-2.
You know, and he calls that a slider. He holds it with 3 fingers on top of the ball, and he's the only guy I've ever seen throw that type of pitch with 3 fingers on top of it. And with that high 3/4 release, he gets right over the top, and it's curveball hand action. It's actually a curveball, but he calls it a slider. Ooh, he got away with one there. Duvall was not fooled on that fastball away.
Well, he has the one that he, as you mentioned, that he just threw at 75, and he's got another one that'll throw around 83, 84.
2 different kinds of breaking ball, and he's got a changeup, and they're all swing and miss pitches. Derek Law's got great stuff.
We're in right center, Blanco, and that's the first out of the inning. Did he get away with one right there? That ball was up.
He did. It was a little bit of a hanger, but you know, when you have 12-6 break on your breaking ball, even a high one you can get away with. It's when it lays out and it has a little tilt to it. That's when the high ones get toasted. Straight down drop type breaking balls, you could get away with a little height. I mean, I wouldn't make a steady habit of it, but it's a little less forgiving, or a little more forgiving, I should say.
Here is Brandon Phillips, who has grounded out to second and been called out on strikes. And it's ball 1. You know, Bruce Bochy told me a story. Remember that game at Yankee Stadium yesterday where Mac Williamson got a hanging breaking ball and popped it up and was so upset with himself because he was in such a groove. He was just launching balls on that trip. Base hit to center for Phillips.
Yeah, that was a 3-2 count with the bases loaded.
And he ended up just fouling out to first for the 2nd out of that 4th inning. And he came back to the dugout. He was very upset, and he was kind of throwing things and talking to himself. And Bochy asked him about it. He said, well, I asked the umpire for timeout, and I thought he was going to give it to me, and he didn't. So he wasn't really ready for the pitch the way he ordinarily would have been. And would you put that in the category of, hey, he's a young guy and he's learning things all the time?
You bet I would. He had a couple of young mistakes in that game. He made the last out of third base on the base pass, and that's a no-no. That's how you learn.
Suarez is flied out to center and hit a 2-run homer. It's a ball and a strike now. Back to the bag at first. Brandon Phillips, who at one time was an outstanding base stealer. He still, if you don't keep a close eye on it, can steal a base. He's had 5 steals this year. But he's also been thrown out trying 6 times. And timeout was granted just as Law was about to throw.
There was a time in baseball that you were taught Guy steps out on you. There's timeout called. You got a free shot to throw at him. Those days are long gone.
To throw at him. I mean, to hit him.
Yeah. Yeah. Throw one hopper at him. Those were the kind-hearted guys. I mean, that was back in the days when they didn't wear helmets.
Two and one. Suarez, who has 17 home runs, although only a .233 batting average. But the Reds have been hitting the long ball. Two two-run homers in the 4th inning, one by Bruce, one by Suarez. Another two-run homer here in the 6th inning by Jay Bruce again. This could be two. There's one. Pena to first. Two. A double play. The Reds are back ahead 6-5. Brandon Belt coming up.
To you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By Kelly Moore Paints, celebrating 70 years as your neighborhood paint store. By Xfinity, X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
Well, fans, join us on the Giants road trip to Paradise. That's right, November 29th to December 4th in Maui. Join myself along with Dwayne Kuiper, Jeremy Affeldt, and other former players. We're going to be there 5 nights at the luxury Fairmont Kea, the Kealani Resort. Am I saying that right, John? Kealani?
Yeah, Kealani.
A limited number of rooms are still available. Call Giants Vacations at 800-670-0858 or go online to sfgiants.com/vacations, and we will break out the ukulele.
New pitcher for the Reds, Jumbo Diaz. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
20th game that Jumbo Diaz has been in. ERA of 4.00. No record yet. Diaz can be a hard thrower. I mean, he can go mid to high 90s with velocity. He's got a little cut fastball and a split.
I thought that had a little trail of smoke after it. Again, off the inside at 96 miles an hour. 2-0 to Brandon Belt, who has singled to center, and then he hit one into the seats out in deep left center. 2-run homer in the 4th inning. Opposite field, 414 feet according to the StatCast. 3-0.
Take a look at that home run in the 4th inning. This is a challenge. 3-1 count. He had to get after it. He had a 3-run lead at the time. And Belt went opposite field gap, the deep part of the yard. That swing of the bat had to feel good given what he did or didn't do on the last road trip.
That's a called strike.
Diaz, big fella, 6'4", 285, 32 years of age. Just in his second year at the big league level. This guy pitched 13 years in the minor leagues before he got to the big leagues.
Broken bat, and Votto will take care of it. And Belt is retired for the first time in this game. He had as many hits his first 2 at bats tonight as he'd had the entire road trip. So he may feel like he can actually breathe again. Here is Connor Gillespie. 6-5. The Reds leading the Giants. The Reds with 3 2-run homers. The Giants have had 2 2-run homers. And that goes foul.
Popcorn. Dwayne Kuiper's kryptonite right there. Of course, I have a hard time passing up a bag myself. I mean, I really can't blame my partner. But he does love popcorn.
Who doesn't love popcorn? Yes. Suarez, kind of a low throw, but Votto kept a foot on the bag for the putout. Gillespie is now 0 for 3.
But Kuiper will go to a bad movie just for good popcorn.
I remember there was a time where that was the whole point of going to the movie. Craving some popcorn, let's go to a movie.
Yeah, it's not a bad philosophy.
Kite, the movie's already started. Who cares?
Free refills.
And a called strike to Ramiro Pena, who struck out and hit into a force play. 6-5. Cincinnati leading the Giants here in the 6th inning. Back home at AT&T Park, which is just a bandbox.
It has been tonight.
The 5 home runs have been hit in the last 3 innings. The Reds 2 in the 4th. The Giants hit 1 in the 4th. The Giants hit 1 in the 5th. The Reds hit another 1 in the 6th. Along the left field line. And that will trail back into the crowd foul. Dwayne Kuiper will be back here in the television booth for the 7th inning.
So Lucio fan.
Dodgers not playing tonight. The Giants home from the road trip with a 3-game lead in the National League West. And the inning is over. So Jumbo Diaz retires the Giants in order. Stay tuned. Dwayne Kuiper will rejoin Mike Krukow. It is 6-5 Cincinnati after 6.
Game summary is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Let's take a look at the Reds. 6 runs on 5 hits. No errors. Giants 5 runs on 6 and 1 error. It has been a home run fest. 4 2-run homers. 2 by each team. And the big swing of the bat for the Giants was the home run from Brandon Belt and Angel Pagan. It is 6-5 Reds. Top of the 7th here again, Dwayne Kuiper.
And it'll be Law who goes after. Is this Iglesias who's pinch hitting? Either that or he's saying to take me out to the ball game, one or the other. That's when fouled on the right field line and out of play.
It's a long strike.
Iglesias is in the bullpen. This is Barnhart. Slowly hit. Crawford charging. Crawford's got it. Crawford will take his time and throw him out. Knowing your runner helps.
Well, he knew he's not going to get a whole lot of speed from the catcher. Hey, it's the end of July. Catchers are not really burning too many base paths right now. April, maybe. July, late, forget it.
Waltrop is going to pinch hit. A little pop-up on the first pitch that Crawford's going to run down. Pinch hitters, and they hate that. They want to be aggressive, but they just want to do a little bit more than a pop-up on the first pitch. And you have the same thought every time. I waited around all day
for a one-pitch at bat. Yeah, well, he'd have been mad if he took that thing, though.
Here's Hamilton. Lancevegas control Hamilton.
That's the changeup. And Mark Gardner has encouraged Derek Law to throw that changeup more. I mean, it's a good swing and miss changeup. And it sets up the fastball.
Up the middle. Crawford's going to have to spin and throw. Got him! And that, my friends, is a great play.
Well, you can have defensive slumps, and in plays like these, they end the slumps. That's a thing of beauty.
6-5 lead for the Reds. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
So Rizal Iglesias, the new pitcher for Brian Price, 1-1 on the year with a 2.31 ERA. Strikeouts, well, he's got 50 and 46 and 2/3. You're going to see a mid to high 90s fastball with a hard slider and a changeup, and he'll throw them all at you.
And the first pitch is at the knees for a strike. Blanco batting for the first time. Remember, he came in on a double switch. Blanco hitting at 244.
And there's the changeup. Iglesias, a converted shortstop, left Cuba, where he's from, in 2013. After a few years as a shortstop, decided, well, my arm's good enough to be a pitcher, and here he is in the big leagues. 26 years old, 6'2", 185-pounder. He's got a little over a year's time in the big leagues. I'm not sure if the Reds really are completely set on him being in the pen. Good breaking ball.
Blanco strikes out, 1 out. And here's Span. Span is 2 for 3. He scored twice, a double. Hit a ball off of Descalfani in the 5th inning for an infield hit. And he bluffs a bunt and he takes a strike. And that got the attention of Suarez, as you would expect.
Reds have had good success going to Cuba to bring players into their organization. Remember, they were the organization that brought Aroldis Chapman into professional baseball. Now, I'm not saying Iglesias is going to have the same type of impact on the game that Chapman has had, but you look at his stuff and it's legit. And the question that they, I'm sure, are asking themselves, is he better suited for the pen or is he better suited for the rotation?
And this is rolled in front of the Reds dugout, then over the dugout.
Got a man making a play.
Hall of Famer. Put a junior on the end of that.
Congratulations, by the way. Ken Griffey Jr., Mike Piazza, enshrined yesterday. It's a great celebration, isn't it? No controversy with those picks. Very deserving.
There's the old Candlestick Park dugout. You see the bathroom door. May sitting on the bat rack. That's the door that Bob Brenly beat on about 400 times.
He wanted to get that.
I know he did. But the picture, Mays signing autographs. Very cool.
On the bat rack. I like it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Span trying to reach here in the 7th. And this is hit right back to the pitcher, 2 outs.
Well, Giants fans, it's now easier than ever to catch more Giants baseball in your area by tuning into NBC Bay Area on Channel 11 over the air or Xfinity Cable 3 and 703. Check it out. Tell a friend.
Pagan hit a 2-run home run in the 5th inning. Giants are looking good. It gave them the lead.
And it was no cheapie either. Home run number 6 on the year, middle end. And that thing stayed hit for a while.
There's been 5 2-run home runs in this game.
I've never seen that. There are 5 home runs and all are 2-run homers. I'm sure that, maybe in other games where there've been 7 or 8 home runs hit may have happened, but not just the 5 that have been hit all be 2 2-run home runs.
I'm with you.
Remember that game that the Cubs, when I was with the Cubs, played the Phillies? It was a 23-22 game. There were 11 home runs in that game. So I imagine there could have been 5 2-run home runs.
No swing. 2 balls and 1 strike. Mac Williamson is on deck. Remember, the pitcher spot is on deck on the double switch. That brought Blanco into the game. Ball's carrying pretty well tonight.
This ballpark is playing like the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. We don't normally see this ballpark play small.
We'll say that all the balls are hit well. 3-2. Pagan trying to get on for Mac Williamson, or trying to hit one out again. And he shoots this one to Cozart. And that'll end the inning. Through 7. It's 6-5 Cincinnati. Reds 6, Giants 5. As Law will go after Zach Cozart, and there's a pitch wide, 1 ball and no strikes.
Not by much.
There's a shot into left field for a base hit. So Cozart with his first hit, he's now 1 for 4, and that'll bring out Bruce Bochy. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. Lopez coming in. Peanuts night at AT&T Park. Your ticket includes a Peanuts Giants snow globe and a ticket to the game. sfgiants.com/special events. So it's 6-5 Reds, and Lopez is the new pitcher.
Javier Lopez, 43rd time he's come in. In those 42 games prior, 16 2/3 innings amassed. Lefties hit 217 against Lopez.
Votto has hurt the Giants. He's been on base twice in front of Bruce when Bruce hit the ball out of the park. He's not biting, and he doesn't bite. It's 2-0. Votto against Lopez lifetime 1 for 10.
It does not help you. It's always had a good eye. And he's hot right now, so you know he's seeing it good.
On the ground, on the dive, got him. No. I think the Giants will take a look at this one.
Yeah, they'll look.
I don't believe that Belt was off the bag.
I'm putting down 4-3. Montoya's on the phone. Just another great play from Ramiro Pena. And he knows that Votto can run. He can put some pressure on it. There's a little bit of a drop right there. He's out.
So they'll take a look at this.
His foot did come out the bag, but he did have possession of the ball long enough to where you can say he did make contact with the bag. No, he's out.
This replay review is presented by Xfinity. So it'll be a nice play by Ramirez, and on the play, Cozart will go down to second.
I would not imagine this is going to take a lot of time. It's not.
So they called him out.
Joey Votto knew the verdict. He had a lean going back to the Reds dugout prior to the call. So nice plays both from Pena and Belt.
Shortest call of the year.
It was.
So here's Jay Bruce, villain number 1 tonight for the Giants.
Well, if he's making a case to get traded, he's made a pretty good one tonight.
Bruce 2 for 17 against Javier Lopez. Couple of walks, 7 strikeouts. No overshift, but Crawford playing close to behind the bag at second. Inside with a fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Reds are leading by 1.
And threatening.
And outside corner 1 and 2.
You know, it bears repeating because it is unusual. Normally, left-handed side armors like Javier Lopez, they're going to stay away from a left-handed hitter, but he has always been a guy that will throw the inside pitch with the breaking ball and the fastball.
Cued foul. 2 home runs, both off of Peavy. This one in the 4th.
A breaking ball that he just rides out of here, and I think that swing of the bat right there really gives you an idea just how hot this ballpark has played tonight. This one here, that was on the screws. 3-1, get it in. A little look like a cutter.
Two and two.
You look at the flags and straightaway right field above Levi's Landing. They're just not doing much. And in the days when you have no wind here, this field is unprotected.
It still has dimensions where you got to still put a little something behind it. I guess you could ask Adam Duvall that.
Well, he got robbed earlier in the game. He hit a ball out 420 feet away in Triple's alley. So I think he would tell you that it's not playing that small.
It's 2 and 2 to Jay Bruce with Cozart, good speed at second. Posey hangs on and they got him. And the work for Lopez is over. So this will be another double switch. We're going to take a break as Strickland comes in. Reds are leading 6-5.
Of this 3-game series with Cincinnati. Giants taking on the Reds at Say Hey Tuesday. It's a 7 o'clock game, pregame live at 6:30 p.m. You see it right here on CSN Bay Area. First 500 fans tomorrow in Say Hey Tuesday will get a cheer card and an authentic Giants fan blanket. Giveaway starts at 5 p.m. so come on out to the pregame show live from Willie Mays Plaza.
Strickland to face Adam Duvall with Cozart at second and 2 outs, and the Giants trailing by 1 run here in the 8th.
And you see the body of work for Hunter Strickland this year. He's been throwing the ball well.
No balls and 1 strike.
And I have to believe that Duvall was definitely waiting on the fastball.
Mac Williamson comes in on the double switch. He is now hitting 3rd in this Giants lineup. The pitcher spot is back to be in the 9th spot. Oh, 2.
Well, if you're Adam Duvall, I mean, you live for fastball challenges, and he just swung through 2 of them. 23 home runs on the year. A National League All-Star this year.
And that was a bit away from the target, but a swing and a foul. It stays at 0-2.
Yeah, why would it be a 98 on the hands? So a pretty good miss of location. I mean, these guys are buds. They played ball together, came up together.
Oh and 2. I suppose he knocks it down.
Pretty nice play right there. And Kozar to second base on that ball to dirt. He thought it was going to be a walk to third base. Breaking ball come up. Once he keeps it in front of him, Kozar had to freeze.
Ended up carrying off of the left thigh of Buster Posey. It's 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Peavy walked Duvall in the 4th, and he was on base when Eugenio Suarez hit a 2-run home run. Two and 2. Hit on the ground, foul.
Up. Paul Robinson, our ball dude at third base tonight, has been waiting all night for that play.
Oh, what happened here, Paul?
All right, here we go. I got it. I got this one. I got it. Oh,
Paul, your shoes are so shiny it just attracted the ball.
yeah, that's what I'm going with. And over on the first base side, Nathan Williams.
That baseball would have never hit those shoes.
No, they would have taken a left turn before it hit those shoes.
So Duvall gets it to 3-2 after falling behind 0-2. There's Phillips, who's on deck. Strickland can do what he really wants with Duvall.
Oh, you're right. I mean, he doesn't have to just challenge here.
Three and 2. And the walk.
Anytime you go 0-2 to a walk, that's good at bat.
Yeah, that's good at bat. You're right. Especially when the guy's throwing as hard as Strickland is. Here's Phillips. Phillips picked up a hit in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. Strickland rubbing up the baseball. So Strickland going after Phillips. Taps this one to Crawford. Crawford, side retired. Nice job by Strickland and Lopez. Williamson, Posey, Crawford coming up.
We want to take a minute to congratulate the two newest members of the Baseball Hall of Fame, Ken Griffey Jr. and Mike Piazza. And our own Bruce Bochy has a special connection with Piazza. Not only did he manage him with the Padres back in 2006, guys, but Piazza made a huge impression on Bochy in the minors, where their careers, Bochy as a manager and a coach, Piazza as a player, paralleled each other. Bochy said he was so good in the minors, you couldn't forget him. And then he ended up being able to manage him in 2006, where he helped them win a division title. He said he was a great teammate. He had a great year for San Diego, but he is a better man. And Piazza mentioned Bochy in his speech. So pretty cool moment, guys.
Very cool. And the pitch to Williamson and a hard shot foul.
Look out.
Yeah, good stuff. The unfortunate thing about the way the Hall of Fame ceremonies go, they're right in the middle of all the games.
And we don't often get a chance to see him live.
Williamson takes in tight, 2 balls and 1 strike. But very moving speech yesterday by both gentlemen. 2-1 to Mac Williamson. 2-2. Giants looking for a base runner, with Buster Posey coming up next. Just outside, 3-2.
This 2-2 pitch, good take. Posey would love to get in that batter's box. There's somebody on base ahead of him.
Got him. Went right at him with 95. So here's Buster Posey. Romo getting loose. And a curveball to Buster Posey, and he takes a call strike.
I don't think he's in agreement with that call. I thought he believed it was inside the high.
Popped him up. And Phillips will put it away. 2 outs. Here's Crawford. Crawford has been on base twice, hit by a pitch and a walk. His at bat in the 5th inning was a fly ball to center field.
Changeup just missing a bit low. You have to like the stuff watching Iglesias from the center field camera. Really throws a lot of movement at you, a lot of different change of speeds.
Phillips, side retired. So we will head to the 9th. It's 6-5 Cincinnati. Giants post-game live right here on CSN Bay Area. It'll be Dave Belden and Ahmed Fareed to get reaction to this game. Latest on the MLB trade deadline and 49er stuff and former 49er stuff. So Strickland will face Eugenio Suarez here in the ninth. Suarez is 1 for 3, hit the home run off of Peavy in the fourth. Swing, and gonna miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Power on power.
On deck is Barnhart, and then the pitcher spot. Zingrani is in the bullpen. And there's a solid single, maybe more. And it's going to be more. The Span's going to get it into second too late, and Suarez with a base hit.
Well, tonight, Giants had another sellout, 42,147, and that means the Giants now have 455 consecutive sellouts, which ties them with the Cleveland Indians that had that mark starting in 1995 to 2001. The Red Sox, 10 years, and they hold the record at 794 consecutive sellouts. Thank you.
Pitch is wide to Barnhart. Barnhart is 0 for 3.
I want to thank all the people that have made that possible. And boy, you really felt the club getting off the plane last night, anxious to get back home in their home uniforms. And getting back in front of the home crowd. It had been a rough road trip. But they knew once they get back here, they were going to be able to get recharged. 455 consecutive sellouts. Big reason why those 3 banners are up there on the wall. Amazing support.
Romo back in the bullpen, and this is driven to right and a base hit. Suarez will have to stop at third, and all of a sudden the Reds are in a position to add on before the Giants come up in the bottom of the ninth. So DeJesus is going to hit. And DeJesus is strictly a right-handed hitter.
Well, he's an outstanding bunter, and he's got good speed. And a bunt here is not out of the question. Although I don't think it's likely.
Well, it could be a safety squeeze.
Yeah. I mean, he's the guy who definitely knows how to push and drag.
And a strike. Hamilton is on deck. Hamilton is a switch hitter.
Pure strikeout situation here for Strickland. That is a closed up stance from DeJesus.
Old style.
Front foot almost hitting the line. And now he opens it up.
Pretty good pitch. Strickland wanted it. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, cutter at 97. That easily could have been called a strike. You see why he wanted it.
Infield is in. 1-2.
97 right through him with the knees.
Got him.
And that's what he was pitching for. A non-productive out. Just reach back and blow country hard fastballs right through the zone into Jesus, overmatched.
Take out a little swing? I think not. Now this guy might. Hamilton is 0 for 4. He's hit a pop-up and 3 ground balls. 2 balls hit where the Giants infielders have made really nice plays on him.
It's still a strikeout situation in the mind of Hunter Strickland.
And it's a squeeze. And this is bunted perfectly. And everybody's safe. And that was a terrific bunt.
Well, with his speed, I don't know what else you could do. And the Reds timed this thing perfectly, and this is a straight squeeze. It's not a safety squeeze. And with that bunt, there is nothing that Connor Gillespie could do. This perfect timing from Suarez at third, and with the legs of Billy Hamilton and perfection on the bunt, you have no chance. 3.8 speed from Hamilton going down the first base line. The timing of Suarez was as impressive.
Cozart takes a strike. So the Giants will go down or come up in the 9th inning at least down by 2. Barnhart at second, Hamilton at first. Cozart singled in the 8th inning. And that's a foul back, so it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Reds have added on here in the 9th. They've got 9 hits in the game. 3 of those hits have left the park. Giants have 6 hits, and 2 of those hits have left the park. Got him.
Fastball payoff pitch with a little cut to it, and there was a little anger behind that fastball. And he just threw a fastball by a good fastball hitter.
Here's Votto. Votto's 1 for 3.
Just a bit outside. Andy Fletcher, third base umpire, did not look that enthusiastic.
And a strike. That is a count. Been a hot hitter. You got to be careful with Votto.
Oh, he's been on fire. That's a 10-game hitting streak he's had now coming out of the break. He's had a hit in every one of the Reds games since the All-Star break.
And another strike. It's 1-2.
Well, 2 times now he's pleaded his case. Look, you called the first one a ball, and those other 2 are there or they're wider, and you're ringing me up here. I think he's got the biggest choke on the bat in all of baseball. And it's not something he does with 2 strikes. It's every swing he takes. He's up the bat. Strickland's no fool. He's going right back out there again.
It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. As he knocks it down 3-2, and now the runners will take off. .30 pitches now for Strickland. And that guy's on deck. So runners will take off. Strickland and Posey trying to come up with a pitch. It's 3-2. And now Buster asks for time. So we'll try to do it again. Runners will go. Here's the payoff. Down the left field line. Foul.
Good pitch. A nice job by Votto to fight it off. Pretty much had to cover that location because of how this at bat has gone. Two-seam fastball. I mean, that's a perfect pitch. That's about all Votto could do with it. But it gets him another pitch.
Three and 2. Got him. And that'll end the inning. No argument from Votto. Giants need 2 to tie, 3 to go home.
That distinction tonight with a 2-home run night, 2 2-run homers. The first came in the 4th inning on Jake Peavy. 1 out, 1 on. And a breaking ball he catches just pure and backspins it right out over the wall into the right center. And then again in the 6th inning, he comes in a 3-1 count. He's got a challenge, and this is what he does. He puts it in the center field bleachers. That is home run number 23 on the year. And Jay Bruce becomes our player of the game, brought to you by Honda.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Last time we saw this gentleman, he was a starter, Anthony Cingrani, alias Tony Cingrani. 45th time that he has come in. He's got 10 saves in assuming the role of and responsibility of the closer. You're going to see mid to high 90s with the fastballs, a lot of fastballs. I mean, he's got the 4 pitches you see from a starter: slider, curveball, changeup. But it's going to be pretty much fastball, slider.
Well, Belt act like a leadoff hitter. Here's the Giants need a base runner. Belt homered in the 4th. And he shoots it into center field, and he's got a base hit. The Belt swing that we know.
Slump is over.
It's his 3rd hit, and here's Green.
The challenge fastball stays down beautifully, takes it right back up the middle. Watch the front foot plant, and he's getting it down early, and that is such a key with any hitter. This is one thing he's had a hard time doing during this slump. So a good night at the plate for Belt. The Giants get the time run to the plate.
Here's Green. Green's done a good job since his call-up from Sacramento. He's hitting over 300, and he's 2 for 6 as a pinch hitter. And he skies one to right. This is in the park. One out for Ramiro Pena as Trevor Brown comes out, and he will hit for the pitcher. But that 1 run really makes a difference in the top of the 9th.
It really does. It makes a difference, obviously, trying to come back, but also makes a difference as to how you manage the inning if you lose Bochy.
Pena tonight is 0 for 3. Fouls this one back. This will be his first at bat right-handed. Trying to get it to Brown with 2 runners aboard. And it's now 0-2.
Concerned.
Down low, 1-2.
What we know about Ramiro Pena is that he's got some pop in the bat, even with 2 strikes.
Belt led the inning off with a base hit. Green hit a fly ball to right. Here it's 1-2. Pretty good eye. 2-2.
Trevor Brown getting ready.
Got him. 2 down.
Paints him with 96 on the knees, outside corner with a little natural cut to it. He set up an outside target, and Cingrani puts it right in the glove. Tucker Barnhart never had to move it.
strike.
It is a strike. Perfect strike.
So here's Brown. This is the last man for Bruce Bochy coming off the bench with Belt at first. And Brown doesn't waste any time. But Zingarni's throwing hard. It's no balls and one strike.
Well, he's got a healthy fastball. He's always had a healthy fastball. Even when we first saw him as a starter, I mean, he threw a lot of fastballs.
Out of play, 0-2. Fastball away. Try to force that right-handed hitter, if he is going to try to hit one out, to right. Which, by the way, doesn't happen very often here.
It's happened 46 times since 2000. Right-handed hitters hitting home runs to right field.
Inside to Brown. It's 1-2. Zingrani at the belt. Calls it back. So Brown giving him a battle.
Well, another perfect pitch. That's pretty much the strikeout pitch that we saw him throw to Pena. And that's a good job of fighting it off to live again. See another pitch.
One ball and two strikes. Way outside, 2-2. Last chance. Brown trying to make the best of it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He represents the tying run. Got him, and that's the ball game. So Zingrani comes in and gets the save, and tonight it was a tale of the 2-run home run.
Yeah, kind of an odd night the way this ballpark played. It played small, and indeed the 2-run home run was the story. But the Giants showed a little life with the bats, especially off the bat of Brandon Belt, who with his 3-hit night sort of said my slump is over. But they've got some work to do if they're going to win this series tomorrow.
Yeah, the plan was to give Belt a day off tomorrow. Maybe that plan has changed. Final score here at AT&T Park. Game 1 of this homestand goes to the Reds. It's the Reds 7 and the Giants 5. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned. Esurance Giants post game live with interviews and the wrap starts right now.